Good morning to you. Let's get at it. If you are watching this on the YouTubes, do make sure that you click on the subscribe button and also the bell so you get notified when new videos come on because let me get rid of that other one. Because once a week, every single week, one person wins a prize because they are subscribed and are also commenting on the YouTube videos. That's all you have to do in order to win a prize, you guys, okay? So that is what is going on, y'all. So let me go ahead and take this off. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. Let me say some hellos real quick. Katie Lynn, good morning. Misty, good morning. Misty won yesterday. Judith, good morning. Okay, you guys, so what we're going to be talking about today, well, first of all, there's going to be a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, stick around to the end. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is overwhelm. And every single person on the planet deals with overwhelm, or maybe doesn't deal with it, has overwhelm in some capacity, okay? Cindy, good morning. Looking forward to this topic. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. All right. So, real quick, Mike is calling me. Hello? Oh, is it on the wrong mic? Let me look. It says USB audio. Okay. Well, I'm going to get the phone. We're all good. All right. So, it might be because the microphone's in a different place than usual. Maybe I put it up here so it's closer to my face. Maybe we do that. Boop. We'll do that. See how that goes. It's kind of, we'll just sit it right there. How's that? Does that look decent, you guys? We'll work it out. Anyway, so overwhelm. So like how to deal with overwhelm, okay? Overwhelm is something that we all deal with it. We all have it. I have it still. You're going to have it. You're going to have it at every stage of your business. It's just, is it going to stop you? Or are you going to learn how to deal with it? And are you going to learn how to actually thrive from it and turn it into something that it turns into a really, really good thing? And so we're going to move through that today and what that looks like. But I mean, even us, we go through overwhelm probably on a monthly basis just because we're growing so fast, right? Like our growth trajectory has been like a wall. Like it's just like poof. And so that doesn't come without bouts of overwhelm where you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? How are we going to get all of this done, right? And the thing is, the only difference between us at this point of our journey right now and us 7-8 years ago is then whenever we looked at overwhelm, we were like, oh, does this mean that we should be doing this or not? If I'm overwhelmed, I can't move forward. I don't know how I'm ever going to get my business to be at a sticking point where it just grows and I'm comfortable with the overwhelm. Because when you're in the very beginning, you don't know what this part feels like. And you don't know that overwhelm is normal, okay? All you know is I have a lot of things to do. I have a lot of ideas I'd love to implement, and I have no idea how I'm going to do it, and I don't even know the next step to take, so I'm stuck. It's the most popular word for new business owners, or popular phrase, I suppose. I'm stuck. And they're not stuck, they're just overwhelmed, okay? So understand that space is typical. The thing is, with this space, the difference between the people that end up here or the people that don't are simply just how you handle the overwhelm. And if you push through the overwhelm and you get smart about it instead of letting it take you over and paralyze you, okay? Because the overwhelm is going to try to be a truth to you. The overwhelm is going to, it triggers some negative feelings. It triggers some feelings of I'm not enough. I don't have enough money to grow this business. I don't have enough staff. I need more people, da, 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 da. It triggers all of that, and that's not even real. That isn't even true, okay? And we're going to go through some of those myths in that, and help you understand that that's not even I need more people is one of the biggest myths ever. And I'm going to go through it here in just a minute. All right. So number one, I've got 3 things that I'm going to talk about here. Okay, you guys. So number one, overwhelm is when you have too many ideas and don't know where to go with your first idea. Okay. So people look at Shark Tank and they look at business owners and they're like, oh, they have all these great ideas and they're able to implement so much and da 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 da. They have probably tens of thousands of ideas and you've seen 5, okay? Because they implemented 5 out of probably tens of thousands of ideas. No human being is at a shortage of ideas, okay? No human being is at a shortage of ideas. Human beings are at a shortage of action. They're at a shortage of implementation. They're at a shortage of actually making the ideas happen. Everybody has great ideas. They just don't know what to do with them, right? And so then you get to an entrepreneur who has exponentially more ideas than just the average Joe. And you have like all these like, oh, I could do this and I could do this and I could do this and I could do this. Trust me, ideas, they come. Ask my team. They always have to say, Martha, not now. Not now, Martha later, right? Like we're not doing that now. Like my husband had to legit make a list of 13 things that we're working on right now. He's like, then we can add things later, Martha. Until then, we've got 13 things we're working on right now, right? That's reality. That's pulling back the curtain on Martha's business. That's what it's like, okay? But we focus on one thing at a time and we move through the list, okay? Now, whenever you have a bunch of ideas, my suggestion is, and this is in my Boom Pow idea book too, but whenever you're looking through your ideas, what I would look at, first of all, get them all on paper, write them all down, okay? And then start going through them and seeing which ones are the ones to implement the easiest, that you're able to implement on your own, and that can have both impact and income the most quickly. Those are 3 filters to run your ideas through that will allow you to put them in a really good sequential order. The very first idea should obviously be the fastest to income and impact. That's like your very first ideas. If you can help somebody and make an income at it at the same time, that's your first idea as a business owner. We're talking business here. As a business owner, that's your first idea that you're going to want to implement. Now, whenever it comes to implementing that idea, here's where people get a little sideways, okay? So it takes us into number 2. And number 2 is that people are waiting for someone to save them. Okay? What that really looks like is this, because that's kind of a general term, but what that really looks like is this. They're waiting for that perfect VA. They're waiting for that person that's going to be able to create this thing for them. They're waiting for somebody to be able to post to their social media for them, or they're waiting for somebody to be able to do this and do that because they look at business owners and they say, well, they can hire it out. They can hire it out because they did it by themselves in the beginning, and then they hired it out when it was time to hire it out. Don't hire things out before it's time to hire things out. Here's the thing. No one's going to save you. You need to do these things on your own first. This is your connection with your people, and someone else can't handle that. You need to set the tone and you need to create the relationships with your people. And then when it's time, and I always say time is typically when you're making about $30K a month. That's when I started hiring out. I was making about $30K a month and I was like, okay, now I need a team because I can't do all of this on my own. Right? And so that's where I started bringing other people into my organization. So it's about $30K a month is when you're going to do that, or when I did. Okay. So what you do, you guys, is you do it on your own first. And then not only do you know how to do it so you can manage somebody else doing it, you can't manage somebody if you don't know what they're doing. You can't manage somebody if you don't know their job. if you don't know what they're supposed to be doing, that's how people get one over on you. That's how people get ripped off day in and day out, is by not knowing what the person that's doing something for them is supposed to be doing, because then you can't check in on them. Okay? It's very, very important for you to be able to do that. Here's another thing. People aren't going to come in and save you because, quite frankly, you don't need saving. You need to build out your business. They're not going to help you build out your business. Like, you're not going to know what to have them do. People will say, well, I need to hire a VA, because it's a sexy term. When in startup businesses or whenever people are starting their personal brands, it's a sexy term to say, I need to hire a VA to help me with blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, what happens? Put yourself in the position of hiring a VA. What are you going to tell them to do? Very likely you don't know what you want them to do. Very likely you're not going to be able to give them a good scope of work. Very likely you're not going to be able to give them good boundaries of precisely what you need so they can thrive in that job. Very likely. So do you really need somebody to come save you, or do you need to clearly define the systems and processes in what you're doing and then bring somebody in later after you've already solidified it? That is the way that you go. And that takes work on your part. But if you're building a business that you're going to be able to thrive in and work 5 to 10 hours a week eventually, if that's what you're building, you guys, don't you think it's worth the investment of your time and your heart and your soul into creating this community and creating this business? Don't you think that it's worth that? I think a lot of people decide that they don't think that it's worth that, not because they don't think it's worth it, but because they're afraid that they're going to spend a bunch of time doing something and then it's not going to be successful, and then it's a waste of time and they look stupid. The only reason I can say that is because I know you. I am you. I was you. That was me. I was like, man, I'm cranking away. I'm going to keep doing this thing. And I just every morning reinvigorated myself. I'm doing this today. I'm doing this today. The next day, I'm doing this today. I'm doing this today. I didn't look at like a super long-term thing, because in the trenches when I hadn't hit yet, in the trenches, I couldn't look at a long game because it looked hard. So instead, what I did was, I'm doing this today. And then the next day, I'm doing this today. Now, I had my mountain in the distance that I understood where I was going, but I couldn't look at like the long game of doing this today, doing this today, doing this today, having it be hard every day, because that's not sustainable. But it is sustainable to say, okay, here are the projects I'm working on. Here's how they serve people. Do they serve people? Do the people know that I'm here to help them? Are those things all worked out, right? Like the stuff that we go through in HBR, I make it so easy for you guys. The stuff that we go through in HBR is all of this. And so we get to see like, okay, is this profitable? Is this good? Are my people there? Do they know that they need this stuff? Awesome. So what do I need to do today to push the needle? What do I need to do? How do I need to create income and impact today? And then we keep going and we keep going and we keep going. And like I said, all of it is in HBR. All of it. The last thing, you guys, is this. Am I live right now? Yes, I am. Okay. I'm sorry about that. That was weird. My notebook was sitting on the keys and it did something really weird. I'm not going to do that again. Am I live right now? I'm like, did I just say all of that to myself? Okay. Anyway, last thing. You focus. You just need to focus. The last thing, whenever you get overwhelmed, you guys, is you see what you need to do. You focus on the here and now project. Okay, I've got 13 of them, remember? But there's one that's on top, and that's the here and now. I focus on that project. What are the activities I need to do to get it done? How do I make that happen, right? And I focus in and I get it done. And then we move on and we move forward. Overwhelm is simply having too many things in your head that you think you have to do. You need to get them out of your head. You need to get them listed out, and you need to do one by one by one by one. Everything doesn't need to happen in one day. Everything shouldn't happen in one day. I have a massive team that works with me, and I don't get everything done in one day. Why are you pushing yourself to do it when it's just you? That's inhumane and it's silly. Focus on one thing at a time and get it done really, really well. That's what you do. That's how you defeat overwhelm. It's how you look at overwhelm and say, not today, not today. And then focus on what you need to do, time block it out, and crush it. That's it, you guys. So obviously, I talked a little bit about HBR in there. Your next step, if you're not in HBR and you're experiencing overwhelm in your business, whether it's the fact that you can't make money, like if you're a coach or something and you can't make money, if you have a home-based business, if you're in network marketing, whatever it is, and you're not making money and you're getting frustrated and you feel like you're doing all the things but nothing is happening, your next step is HBR. Okay. HBR is going up 71% this weekend. It's going up to its new price. It's like I said, it's 71% off right now. But you guys, what HBR is so you're probably already familiar with email marketing and websites and lead pages and all of that. And that's really just a vehicle, right? Like that's not really your business. It's just a way that you connect that you're able to contact people and able to reiterate a message and that sort of things and get sales and that sort of thing. So that's all that is. Now that's all in HBR. However, the way that I teach it in HBR, you haven't ever seen it taught this way before. It's taught in a way where they all work together and it's like you move one gear and everything else moves. Okay. So whenever I say I work 5 to 10 hours a week, it's because I don't have to, all I do is I move a gear and everything else moves all together. I'm not required to do that much anymore. And that's what I'm teaching you is how to set up your business to be the exact same way, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're network marketing or a coach or have a home-based business. It doesn't matter what you do. It honestly makes no difference at all. It works for every niche. It works for everything. You could work on cars and it would still work for you, okay? So aside from that, we also have weekly momentum calls, which are group coaching calls every single week. We have a group of coaches that you email and they give you feedback, real life feedback on what you're doing in your business. So you ask questions and we give you feedback. If they can't give you feedback or they don't feel like they really have a good grasp on what you're doing, what they do is they send it up to me and then I give feedback. So regardless, you're taken care of, okay? Aside from that, we have an e-commerce site that is going to be live here. I'm not sure when the actual date is. There's a lot of stuff to be done in it. But the e-commerce site's going to be amazing. You're going to be able to sell your stuff. You're going to be able to sell. So if you do VA services or something, you can sell your stuff on there. You have to be an HBR to do it. You're going to be able to sell your courses and your programs. There's a business strategist certification that's coming up where people in HBR can get certified to be a business strategist like myself. And then I also get you paid, right? Because I have people ask me all the time for one-on-one stuff. And obviously I don't have the bandwidth for it, but I will get you guys paid. If you become a strategist, then I'll have people work with you, right? Aside from that, like there's just so many other things that are coming down the line. HBR is my way of making sure that everybody is fully equipped to be able to have a home-based business like we do. Because whatever happens in the outside world makes no difference to us. We're not frightened about things that happen in the outside world because we're okay. And so we want everybody to be okay. And that's what we do. And I stay in the trenches with you. There was somebody the other day, a couple weeks ago, he was like, why don't I know who you are? And I'm like, dude, I'm not out there. I'm in the trenches with my people. My people see me all the time. I'm in the trenches with them, helping them get exactly what they need so they can move forward. I'm like in it. I'm not out just like, hey, I'm in the trenches with my people. So that's what you guys need to understand, is that this is massively different. Also, you pay for HBR once and then you have it for life. So remember, it goes up in price this weekend. Here's how you get signed up with it. You just go to my Facebook business page, Livin the Dream with Martha. Message me the words case study, rainbows and unicorns, whatever you want to message me. But we'll have a small chat and then I'll send you the details of the program. Understand, you'll have the opportunity to say yes or no. I don't do any hard sell, weird like headlock or anything. Like, you got to buy from me. I'm not going to do that to you, and I don't want you to do it to anybody else. That's not what I teach you how to do anyway. I teach you to sell without selling, essentially. So you never feel salesy, skeezy, or weird. Like, this is something every human being can do. And kids and families and all sorts of stuff. It's really fun. But aside from that, like I said, you pay for it once and then you have it for life. You've never seen anything like this before. And especially the way it changes you as a person and the way it actually works. You've never seen anything like this. So I wouldn't pass it up. There are some people that will say, oh, maybe I'll wait. And then they'll wait 6 months and they'll come back and say, man, I wish I hadn't waited 6 months. I wish I would have done this 6 months ago. And I'm like, yeah, I hear it. I hear it all the time. I hear it so much, actually. So feel free to join in now. I don't want you to wait 6 months, because 6 months from now, obviously, it's going to be at a different price. So I don't want you to wait for that. But that is where you reach out to us. What I want for you guys is, even if you experience overwhelm, I want for you to be able to come on to one of my momentum calls, just like all my HBR people, and say, hey, Martha, I want to do this. How do I do this? And then if you're one of my HBR students, you've seen me do this a million times. I'll say, okay, here's how I would do it. Ba, 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 ba. I give you ba, 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 ba. Okay, Martha, I'm confused. I feel stuck. I don't really know what to do here. I'll ask you a few questions to get clear on your stuff. And then I'll be like, I got it. Ba, 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 ba. You'll see me light up. As soon as I got it, you'll see it like, I got this. And then I'll be like, okay, here's what you do. That's what you need. You need somebody who says, okay, here's what you do. Do, 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 do. And not somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, somebody who's done it. And done it well. And done it with such a sustainability of spirit that it can't not be done. That's how I know it's okay for everybody on the planet. I know that. Like today, I'm really proud of what we're going to do today. We're getting ready to go get a car for somebody that really needs one. And that's something we wouldn't have been able to do without our process that we have created for HBR. We wouldn't have been able to, we wouldn't have the funds to be able to just go buy somebody a car. Because last night they messaged us and said they got in a car accident. Their car was totaled. They were scared to death and they were crying. And then they said the other person didn't have car insurance. And so now they're going to have to pay for their car and they don't have the money. And so I just looked over at Mike and I was like, can we get him a car? And he's like, yeah. And so we messaged him and we're going to go out and get a car today. You guys, these are the kinds of lives all of us can live. I don't say that like, I'm so awesome. I'm saying that like all of us want to give back. All of us want to take care of each other. I believe that. We just need to get ourselves in a position to be able to do so. And that's what this is about. Getting ourselves in a position to beat overwhelm and move on to success. Overwhelm's a precursor to success. Okay? It just happens before. It's a step before. You just got to get through it. And then understand it's cyclical. It'll keep happening. Okay? What questions do you guys have? Let's see. Nicole, yes, you'll regret if you don't take the leap into HBR. It's life and business transforming. She ain't lying, man. She ain't lying. Courtney, help this yellow mama live out her dream and helping serve people by helping me with the business side I never understood or liked. Right. I love it. I love it. Cindy, HBR is worth so much more than the increase that is coming. Do it. Do the work. Get on the calls. Your life and business will never be the same. It's true. It's true. Beth, if HBR even remotely sounds like it may help you jump in, you will be shocked how much you grow and improve through this course. For real, you guys. I'm not paying these people to say this. Misty, get an HBR, best community and support system ever. Court, thank you for saying that. I need to make a list, take it one by one. Been trying way too hard to do it all in a day. Don't know why. That's it's a misunderstanding of how to be able to run a business. A lot of people feel like they see a task and they need to get that task done in a day. It almost might be just something that's anchored in schoolwork of getting this stuff done in a day and looking at a task and getting it done in a day. That might be psychologically where it anchors, but it doesn't need to be done in a day. We need to break it down into activities and do those in a day. All right, you guys. Well, I am going to pop out of here. I love you guys so stinking much. Haha. Tiffany said, when's HBR for kids happening? Wink, wink. That's a thing. It's not in the 13. It's not in the 13. It's after the 13. But it's on there. Oh man. I love it. You guys are great. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.